Top 3 questions I get asked on this channel. What does the Amazon Relay load board look like? How do I book loads? And when I book those loads, how do I stay so local? These are the relay rates for Tuesday, July 30th.
Let's get into those SoCal relay rates.
Alright, as always, there's going to be chapters in this. Feel free to skip ahead to your section. We're going to look at recommended loads for San Diego. We'll take a look at some spot capacity, see what blocks are looking like, and then we're going to do what we came to do, which was look at Pittsburgh, PA for JumpyYT. So there'll be chapters in this. Let's just go ahead and jump into what recommended loads Amazon is recommending to me.
Bro, they literally changed the song.
Coming to you from Fashion Valley Mall today. So recommended here, little Sand 5 to Sand 3 run, 7.5 miles, $24 a mile. That's going to be a middle stop there at TIJ5. That is a third-party site. Decent little local run. Here's another one, exact same time, running from Sand 5, going to TIJ5, ending up at Sand 3. Here's a VCA 4, one pick, one stop, trailer provided, going up to Riverside, 276. Looks like another one of those, a third one of those. One pick, 4 stops, Sand 5 ending in Riverside, 263 a mile, 290 payout. Sand 5 ending up in Riverside, one pick, 2 stops, total of 3, 233 a mile. Here's a 344 a mile. Going from Sand 5, ending in Vista, one pick, one stop. They don't give a time on that, but let's see, this is 3 in the morning. They say that is 57 miles. I think it's slightly less than that, but yeah, $200 payout to run up to Vista. Here's a Poway heading up to San Bernardino, one pick, 5 stops, total of 6, 289 a mile, 580. I don't like those multi-stops. If they say, hey, we don't need you at stop 4, we don't need you at stop 5, but you end up going to stop 6, they start reducing the payout. I don't think that's right. Not a lot of great 53 on here. Here's a decent little 26-foot box truck one, 443 a mile. Leaves in the morning at 1 in the morning. Let's see, 443 a mile, 383 payout. They've got you starting down at Sand 5, going to what I assume are post office locations in Chula Vista, Lexington and El Cajon, positive that one's a post office, up to Poway, over to Vista. So not a bad little payout for a box truck there. Let's see here, 204 a mile, one pick, 7 stops, 409 payout, starting at Sand 5, ending in San Diego. Going from, let's see, Sand 5, going to Temecula, going to San Diego, to San Diego, to San Diego, to San Diego, to San Diego. So different post office locations here around town. Box truck heading out to El Centro, one pick, 3 stops, 250 a mile, 424 payout, but then you're in El Centro and you're probably not going to find a connecting load out there through Amazon. I've looked at those desert communities before. The closest place to get that connecting load is going to be heading up to Beaumont, and that's going to be quite a bit of deadhead. Let's see if there's anything else on here that catches my eye. Here's a San Diego ending in Tecate, one pick, 7 stops, 312 a mile, for 570, but then you're in Tecate. You're gonna have to come back to like San Diego somewhere to get another connecting load. So there's that. Let's take a look. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on San Diego because we look at that all the time. Let's take a look at that spot capacity here. I think that's what I said I'd do next. I can't remember if I said blocks or this. Let's see here, 53 foot. This came over at, let me turn the brightness up on my phone. Maybe I should do this without sunglasses on, that might help. Let's see, here was starting at SBD1, ending up in Illinois, $2,000 miles for $4,612 when it says accepting offers. This is your one and only time to negotiate a better rate with Amazon. Here was one 545 in the morning, starting at BUR7, heading over to Glendale, Arizona, $331, $1,058 was their offer. From a vendor, this will be a third-party site. Vendor up in, heading to LAX 8, so it looks like it's, ending up in Lathrop. Might be Lathrop to Lathrop. I almost feel like this can't be right, but 9 miles for $1,000, unless they have you staying at that vendor all day long. But is this a, let's see, 53 foot, does it say trailer provided or trailer required? Preloaded drop. That might be a trailer required. Whenever I see that, I think that that's a typo. Unless they have you at that vendor for like a day or two, it might be worth checking on. I mean, $1,000 is $1,000. And then let's see, 104 in the morning, they sent over one going from XLA3, heading up to Spokane, Washington, 1279 miles for a $3,022 payout. Remember, it's your one and only chance to negotiate that higher rate. Let's look at blocks. I have a load board for that. Let's just see what blocks are looking like around Southern California. If you're not familiar with what a block is like, let's say you don't want to sit in there and do all this load board watching. You can pick one of these. So like this one starts in Ontario, ends in Ontario. It starts and stops at the same place. It's 37 hours. They're going to pay you $1,195 plus whatever the current fuel surcharge is for their every mile they ask you to drive. You're going to drive for Amazon for a day, 11 hours of drive, 13 hours on duty, 10-hour break, and then you're going to repeat the same thing on the second day. So your payout's going to be at $1,195, plus if they ask you to drive 350 miles a day, and let's say, I think the current fuel surcharge is like 42 cents a mile. They reimburse you for every mile they ask you to drive. But they've got, you know, a 2-day block for $11.95, another 2-day block for $11.83. Here's a 1-day block for $4.90, another 1-day block for $4.86, another 1-day block for $4.82, and then one for $4.79. That plus accessorials just means that they're paying you back for like tolls, and they compensate you with that fuel surcharge for every mile they ask you to drive. I personally don't do blocks because I've always fared better with the load board and spot capacity, but they are available right now. They've got a few more on there, but this, in order to entice me to do like a 1-day block, that'd have to be like above $1,000. You can see they're paying half of that. So I don't really book blocks. Let's do what we came to do, which was look at what was that, Pittsburgh, PA? Let me double check here. Yeah, Pittsburgh, PA. Let's build that off of a San Diego load board here. Let's say San Diego power only, and let's add in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, PA. And now it's going to default to San Diego and Pittsburgh. We'll take San Diego out of there. Only 11 results within 75 miles. One thing I like to do is see like, okay, within 50 miles, there's 11. Within 75 miles, there's 12. Within 100 miles, there's now 31. So you can see there's kind of like right now, there's like a big difference between 75 and 100 miles. Let's just look at that 75. That's what I kind of consider to be standard. Switch this around to price per distance highest. Turn off the auto refresh. So right now, top money on the board. PIT 5, ending at PIT 9, 325 a mile, 491 total payout. They've got you going from PIT 5 to PIT 9 to DCL 3, and then ending at PIT 9. They say that this is going to take, where's the time on this? 5 hours and 9 minutes. The fact that it's all Amazon locations makes me think that it would go faster than that, but it's kind of one of those things you kind of mess around and find out with. This next one, 243 a mile, 1 pick, 2 stops, starting at PIT 5, going to a third party, ending at a third party. When it has just the city name on there, it's not an Amazon stop. It doesn't have like a PIT 5 and SAN 5. It has a city on it. That's going to be a third party site. So you're going to make $611. They say it's going to take 8 hours and 32 minutes. With 2 third party sites, I bet it takes every bit of that. Possibly even, I bet you they get you out of there just before the detention starts on with 2 third party sites. I bet you it takes closer to 10. Here's another Pittsburgh. Going to, love it when I get to these cities I can't pronounce. Solon, Ohio. Let me know in the comments. 1 pick, 2 stops. PIT 5 to CLE 5 to DCM 3. 218 a mile, 255 total payout. And then we're getting down to like less than $2 a mile. PIT 9 going to XNJ2, $1.93 a mile, 753 payout. Let's just see if we increase that radius on here. Do we see anything better? So if you're willing to go 98 miles a deadhead to CLE 5, 1 pick, 2 stops, ending up in, so there's a third party site. There's the third party site. Maybe we saw that one before. No, we didn't, because it's 98 miles. There's another 98 miles starting at a third party site, ending up at MDT1, 253 a mile. So, and all these, I mean, Pittsburgh to Carlisle, we saw that one. CLE 5, Twinsburg, ending up in Carlisle. Pennsylvania. Got you going CLE5, XCE1 to PHL4. So I mean, there's a few of these. I'll just kind of scroll through these so you can see them on the screen. I'm not going to really make any comments on these just because, you know, we're down below like $2 a mile. I have them sorted by price per distance highest, so it's just getting lower. But I mean, I'm not going to go buy a truck and pay for all this insurance to run for $1.51 a mile. And even, you know, some of these, like here's this $3,000 payout, you're making it at $1.42. That little lock, that lock unlock there means that it's one that requires early access. I do have that. That's why the lock is unlocked. But, you know, it's like I'm not going to be so excited about $1.38 a mile for early access. We're down to $1.36. What's the lowest rate on the board? $1.27 a mile is their current lowest rate on the board. Let's switch this around and look at box trucks. We're going to take out semis, add in box trucks, all box trucks. And there are, so let's 174 results within 100 miles, within 75, that drops down to 130, within 50 miles, that drops down to 127. So as of right here, right now, there are more box truck loads on the board. Let's just do this to 75 miles. I consider that to be pretty standard. Top money on the board, one pick, 4 stops, 554 a mile, 206. They say you're going to be done with that in 2 hours and 49 minutes, starting at PIT 5, going to what I assume are post office locations there. One on Federal Street in Pittsburgh, Liberty Avenue on Pittsburgh, Freeport Road in Pittsburgh, and then another High Street. Restart this screen record again. Who forgets to turn their phone on do not disturb before something like this? Where were we? So we were looking at that first box truck load. Let's see here. Next load on the board, 541 a mile, going from Pittsburgh, one pick, 4 stops, 201 payout. Again, they say 2 hours and 49 minutes. This is, let's see, starting in Pittsburgh, ending up in, so first stop is in Pittsburgh, second stop is in Pittsburgh, Freeport. So willing to bet those are all post office locations. Let's see here. PIT 5, one pick, 4 stops, 541 a mile, 201 payout. These are all around 201. Here's Pittsburgh, one pick, 1 stop. I like that. That's not going to take a lot of time. They say it's going to take 2 hours and 3 minutes. I'm willing to bet that takes exactly how long it takes you to load up at PIT 5 and drop off at the second location. So they say 2 hours and 3 minutes. I'm willing to bet that you can get that done in probably 37 miles. I don't know how long it takes to load and unload a box truck, but I'm willing to bet you can get that done closer to an hour. That would probably be the one that I would choose, but that's not until Sunday. One pick, 3 stops starting in Pittsburgh, 501 a mile, 207 payout. One pick, 3 stops starting in Pittsburgh, 493 a mile, 204 payout. Pittsburgh, again, one pick, 3 stops, 489 a mile, 200. Let's just see if there's a sweet spot where these go above. So above 200. Here's one that jumps up to 270, but it's one pick, 5 stops starting in Pittsburgh, 433 a mile. 6 total stops for 272. I'm just going to scroll through some of these until I see one that, let's see here, 240, 223, 248. Here's one, but it's 8 total stops, goes up to 312 a mile, but 8 total stops for 365, 312, starting in Pittsburgh, ending in Oakdale, PA. Let's see, 280, one pick, 6 stops total of 7, starting in Pittsburgh, ending in Delmont, PA. 348 a mile, 282 payout. Let's just see if can we get any that go above $400. 333. This actually isn't bad. I mean, 311 a mile, 333 total payout, starting in Pittsburgh, one pick, 2 stops, ending in Terra Alta, West Virginia. And that's all of page 1. Let's just take a look at page 2 here and see if we can hit that. Where do we cross the $400 mark at? Or do we cross the $400 mark? here we go. First one that crosses the $400 mark. You're doing that at $271 a mile. 456 total payout, 168.5 miles, starting in Pittsburgh, ending up in Davis, West Virginia. So they do exist. That one is one pick, 4 stops total of 5. So there's that. That's pretty much what they look like. And I mean, keep in mind this load board's changing all the time, because I want to make this video in the 10 to 15 minute range. I don't have time, and I don't think you have the patience to sit through a 2-hour relay rates video, but I guarantee if we watch this for 2 hours with the auto refresh on, we would see new loads dropping and get a better idea. So hopefully that answers JumpyYT's question. I'm going to make an executive decision here on next time's relay rates. There's been a guy on my list since the beginning, and the random number generator has never picked him. That is Mark Filar. He wanted Knoxville, Tennessee. That's what we're going to do next. He's just been on my list the longest, and when I do those, pick a random number between 1 and 10, 1 and 7, 1 and 3, it's just never picked him. So Mark Filar, we're going to do Knoxville next. What am I doing today? Day off with the family down here at the mall, just goofing off. I've got a line on a load for later today, non-Amazon load. I see where there's two brokers kind of listing the same load, going from it's a power only opportunity, going from El Centro back to San Diego. They both got it listed for 800. I'm just trying to get one of them to come up to 1,000, and if I can run it at night, I'll go do it. But if not, gonna just enjoy the day off.